as the mid would, right? Because level 6, it's like, hey, if you're not defending your tower, I'm going to knock it down.
Actually, I think he does bring the same amount of pressure, if not more. Compared to other carries, my experience with DK carry has been mainly watching Chalice from LGD. Yeah. When he stopped to carry at the beginning, he played a lot of DK because that was played in the offlane as well. And that was my experience with DK carry, and I saw it being really successful because compared to the majority of carries, your laning stage is fantastic, and you are just really solid as space creator. It's much better played with some sort of win condition mid, which the Morphling of course will fulfill. So DK has a much more versatility to...
So what's the move then? Does the safe lane DK gank the safe mid lane rather when it's level 6 and then kind of just do a little swapperoo there?
No, the idea is that you gank, no, not on level 6, you gank when you get usually the first item. So some DKs like Trump, some DKs just like the straight blink daggers, and then you gank mid. You try to get a kill there and take the tower. So instead, what you're trying to pressure is actually the offlane tower as early as possible, which Winstrike won't want to defend. You get free gold off that, get a blink dagger relatively early, gank mid, take the tower there, and leave the safe link to your tower for last. Or alternatively, something Chalice also used to do is, as soon as possible, like minute 6 or so, once you hit the dragon form, you go down bottom, and when you want to form a triangle, take the tower first, and then just stay there forever, while your offlaner goes around and kills people. It's pretty effective. I think he has a lot of versatility. I like the DK carry. I don't think it's a bad pick.
Then we'll see how it works out here as...
Oh, Excess Vampire messed up a...
Yeah, he let him get under the tower, and he actually is going to find at least one of the CS there. That's a little bit surprising, considering how much damage that tier 3 does to unupgraded creep. Chunks on. Alchemist is doing A-okay here as well, 6-0 compared to the 4-3 of Mars. So a couple denies here for Blizzy. He's going to go a long way towards slowing down the output of the game. But he's not going to really be able to kill him unless he's super out of position. Good news is that the Coddle doesn't really bring a whole lot of save to this lane, and the Earth Spirit doesn't really care for him.
Yeah, now we're seeing the damage they can put out. He actually did go for an early level stun, which guarantees the kill on Blizzy. Well, actually not necessary, because the Illuminate would have just killed him anyway. Wow, they were not expecting that. I was kind of not expecting that either, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
They might even kill Excess Vampire. Oh, wow. That's the first time I actually see Solar Bind being useful in lane. Look at this Coddle, Solar Bind level 2. Yeah, and now he
doesn't have mana. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing he's realizing is, well, I got 2 kills, but was it worth it?
You go, Coddle, give me mana. He goes, I have Solar Bind.
I cannot.
Cannot, sir. That's an SCA
SCA special here. Dyrachyo is going to take a little bit of harass. He's already used the initial spear. We're having another one in a second, but no trees to pin him to. Job there, cutting down those trees, and then like a little bit later. Mid lane, the Storm has been ganked, but it looks like it wasn't a success as the Rolling Boulder likely misses. He's able to step on his bottle, go in and take a nice old healing pot, and he's full.
It's just not very useful to gank this mid lane right now.
Dire structures are fortified.
I can't imagine the Morphling getting a kill. I mean, now he's making the mistake of trading against Morphling. But generally, Morphling doesn't have the kill potential, even with an Earth Spirit. And Storm is pretty good at blocking the Earth Spirit. Yep, because you Remnant, and he's like, well, I can't really dive against Remnants.
Yep. That's going to be the value of a ward here, ladies and gentlemen, where this time, this ward providing you just enough vision to know whenever that Earth Spirit's going to roll right on to it. Now, who cares? You're happy that it saved your life, if not once, but at least twice then. Lots of supports rotating over here for the minute 4 rune, however, on the side of Gambit. Looks like they've just about guaranteed Shaman in the river. Looking to make a play. Looks like hovers. Whoa. Storm able to bottle up the regen rune. A little bit of damage done, but doesn't really bother really anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, 2 kills in favor of Winstrike. Not very much. I think it's just it's not that many, honestly. It's just a result of your early game mistakes by Gambit. I was expecting Gambit to do a bit better, especially in this off lane. But the Alchemist stun really took him by surprise. Usually you don't get stunned this early. In fact, look at this. He's actually going for an off lane after his build on. Well, you keep your little speed level 1, you max out the spray, and you go for the stun. You cover with Xanni here in the top lane. Stroke of Fate, not going to help him too much. Xanni's like, guys, I'm a DK. I can really just hit. Like, I survived forever, but there's not much kill potential, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's just so much damage. And I mean, the Breathe Fire is really nice, actually, because it's going to allow his support Grimstroke to actually trade with the Shaman, who's at base damage, which is fire. But the issue comes, and they still have a crap ton of magic damage. First Spirit might be able to get a kill here now onto the poor little Coddle. Body blocks is going to be just good enough. Nicely done.
No Venom though, so Coddle might just be able to get away. No, that last hit will do the trick.
Yeah,
he tried to use the high ground in his favor and avoid the stroke of fate. Almost really well played at Pantomem. No.
It was impressive. He buys a lot of time, and that does come at the rotation of what is the Grimstroke. But now that we've got level 2 Dragon's Blood on the DK, I don't want to say he's unkillable because he's still going to be a little bit in this sort of kill range here, especially if the Storm is missing how quickly they ping it as soon as they see it. But it's just going to be okay. They might make an effort here for our Alchemist, and they will. Nice stroke of fate able to only hold their combo. He's going to be channeling the stun, but unable to get it off. Well, rather, it just explodes on him, and as he's done.
That's what happens, by the way, guys. If you don't use the stun. Blizzy in trouble as well in the bottom lane. No more solar buy, but Blizzy like I think he might even want to die quicker just so they can respawn faster and come back into the lane.
Yeah, I mean, it does guarantee the mid lane rune, but rather for the Morphling, which is an arcane, okay, which you definitely don't want the Storm to be having. Just okay for the Morphling. It's just a bottle refill. But in terms of what that quote-unquote cost for the Storm Spirit to miss out on, maybe another kill.
Yeah.
Maybe you gank top with that.
Especially because Morphling is so static that whenever Storm gets a good rune and starts ganking, you're like, well, guys, I'm sorry, you're on your own, right? You can't really match his rotations. DK might be able to, but Morphling can't. He's just supposed to push this.
Yeah, and he's doing a pretty good job of farming at least. 44 and 4 compared to the 40 and 6. Alchemist here with the gloves of face. That must be for power charge. I refuse to believe. And but already the Alchemist is going to lane, so instead, in his wake, rather, he will leave Storm Spirit, who's already level 7 now. Without level 6 here, without the arena on our Mars, there's really not a whole lot of potential either. The Alchemist, now that he's got level 6, same goes for Lorenof. There's not a whole lot of good potential this way either. Coddle TP'd in. Ooh, Lorenof made the decision to actually waveform it up aggressively, but again, it's so hard to kill. These two heroes just about unkillable here at this stage of the game. I wager to say, at least with the chemical rage ready.
Has been killed.
For now, the DK has been just trying to get his first main. Usually that's going to be the point of inflection for Gambit. I like that they're playing patiently, though. I think a lot of people, when they see announcers, just rush at him. And yeah, last game they played way too passively, but there needs to be a bit of patience. You want to play with your item timings regardless.
No, definitely, and we're getting there. This is a much better situation. Gank, in fact, this could be another kill, and very likely is, as we still have the Lorenof to follow up if we need it, and we don't.
About you.
Hey, why even take the tower here down bottom? Notice, this is what I'm talking about, right? Look at the DK, already going down bottom. And this is what also challenges to do a lot, which is you can't gank the mid lane, in this case because the Morphling is there, so if you gank it, you're just going to make the Morphling feel more pressure. So instead, you just gank bottom, try to take this tower with a dragon form, and then proceed to go to the triangle to farm more safely.
Pretty static in the mid lane as once again the Storm will go without a power rune. It's an invis into the model of our Morphling. Looks like their Gambit rather is going to be able to pay Winstrike to the punch here for the first tower. Thanks to it's poison for the first level, right?
Well, it's poison for all levels now. Right?
They actually get the Storm in the mid lane as well. Again, it's a nice, neat little combo here. Level 5 here is going to pick up a point of silence, which you generally don't see on most Earth Spirits, but when there's another Spirit in the game, and this game there's 2, it's always well worth it.
I guess nowadays you say that you do see it very often because how often you see the Spirits, right? But you're right.
That's true.
The ideal build would not be picking silence.
Exactly. It's more of a result of having the Spirits in the game than it is of the Earth Spirit himself being picked up. And in fact,
chshrct, no Spirit.
Risky TP.
Well, XS Vampire already got a taste of Fratricide. He's liking it.
He is. He's going for a second one
Let's
here.
go. Coming more Satan's XS Vampire.
Hover ready with the Explosive 2 here already. Okay.
Middle brother for the win. They go for the Storm. Youngest brother is dead. The oldest brother is more experienced, so he can get away thanks to his wisdom.
He can, but they're going to lose a second tower here. This is a really bad trade for Winstrike. Yes, your Alchemist is farming, but he did take the point in Unstable Concoction, which massively actually slows down his farm here. It's a difference of 3 per last hit at the max level, is it? Or what's the difference? Read stacks here? Yeah, it's 3.
Or at max, of course. But it's also the bounty rules, which is a big deal. And on top of that, it's not so much that you don't take the point in Grivel's Greed, I would say. You don't get the full points in Grivel's Greed and Acid Spread, both of which help you farm, right? So Unstable Concoction is purely fight. As an Alch in the core position, the reason why you don't take any points in this is like, well, I don't want to fight at all in the early. Until I get like 3-4 items, I don't want to fight. And his timing for Battle Fury is still respectable, but for an Alch, minute 10 with boots, minute 11, just okay.
It's having a bit of a slower start, and immediately they're going to go and smoke into the jungle. There's a nice ward here watching for Winstrike, so they might get baited into thinking safe call, but the scan He'll actually scout someone.
Dyer's middle tower
Interesting
is
movement
under
here.
attack.
They're looking to try and secure both runes. The Shaman likely to sacrifice his life for this bounty, but it's well worth it. DK unable to get a kill. He's not going to pulled away from the blink, but he might not need it to land this stuff. Now with the Alchemist, who bring it off. This thing for free. There's Fear rolling on his bit. Hexed up, and that's before he gets the stun and the silence off. And that's plenty of damage there, Avo. In fact, they're going to try for chshrct, who still has one Astral Step at the ready. There's going to be a jump down to the back line as Grimstroke was trying to D-ward. Gets the Phantoms and race off, but a very nice blunt play. That's not going to stop the stun from coming, though, and plenty more damage.
Ooh, they took down the Storm and the Alchemist, the two main cores in the enemy team. And here's where we're talking about the kind of greed that Winstrike is showing. Right now, they're just not fit for fighting.
No,
and the DK really ups their tempo on Gambit, which is why I love this pick. I'm liking the Gambit is playing well this time. And also, they really took advantage of Storm's ball lightning level 1. DK had Dragon Tail, of course, in Dragon form, which means the projectile. Storm can avoid that, but not with ball lightning level 1. It's
projectile with the additional cast range, that's the trade-off you get. And now that's not going to be a problem so much as we are going to have this Blink Dagger after this fight. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Radiant's
Okay, I mean,
middle
I've seen this in a
tower is
couple
under
regions.
attack.
It's not someone's not as Nagasaran is. The idea that this boosts up your experience gain a lot, and Morph is one of the best carries or mid laners at using experience. That's why Morph is very popular in the mid lane as well. That's like that sort of experience. Your talents at level 15 and 20 are super valuable, and so is getting Morph maxed possible. So I kind of like the idea of a Midas. And I mean, the only thing in this game is that Midas against Alk might be a bit too greedy.
It is.
But I can see that because DK and Mars are creating so much space for you, you feel like it's warranted. I don't disagree with it. It helps you keep up with Alk's farm as
And
well.
I think you're going to be able to bring the pressure to the Alchemist.
Oh, so many stacks. Ooh.
Very, very quickly here. A lot of stacks. They're being pinged out here. Storm nearby can look to still up, but he's still being level 1.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
There's the X-Roll from the Earth Spirit. Not gonna catch Rabel. And this time he's gonna be recalled as well with a Coddle. Nice, okay. So that's,
Nice job there.
I actually didn't consider that, but that's a good idea of, or a good way to take advantage of the recall, right? Storm can cut lanes, you recall them back, and then you get the ball lightning to get people with ability. Phantoms of Grace plus a silence. There's no time for chshrct to get that Phantoms of Grace off him.
This is such a great combo here, actually, the Grimstroke and the Earth
Yeah, it's
Spirit.
very, very good.
Because you only actually need the first point in the which is only 2 seconds. It's not a whole lot of time for you to act. But what it does do is it gives you enough time for the Phantom to start flying over, which is a much bigger pain in the butt to deal with here. And of course, that's going to last a That's going to be quite annoying here for the side of for the Strike to deal with, as it's not only effective against the Void Spirit, but also equally as effective here. He almost has his Orchid though, so that's going to be a nice point of inflection. Could potentially start to rattle the Morphling a little bit with that one, who doesn't yet have a Dispel.
I don't know, I mean, I can see the value of Orchid versus Morphling, but it's very dangerous to go Orchid first in a game against DK and Earth Spirit Grimstroke, right? There's so many ways to get you to silence you or stun you, one of which, by the way, when the DK is not in Dragon form, will be instant, so Storm cannot avoid that, especially once you have Blink down.
Especially once you exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing, actually, to build off that point, I really wouldn't mind seeing Scepter instead, right? Because you can use it defensively, but also your brother, who is sometimes usually played as the mid laner and would like to build that item first, doesn't have it, right? He's going to be going for the Vessel first. Very useful against the Morphling as well as the DK. Someone needs to build this game, who better than him? I think that's a great decision, but now it's going to leave him without a setup here for the 8th Remnant, which could potentially lead to a kill here or there, and especially when you set it up with the not too unlikely, or it's not too unrealistic for the Storm to zip in, to have his older brother Astral step in, and that's just as efficient as it would be, or rather that combo is just as efficient as it would Spirit, except this time.
Exactly. Now we'll see what Gambit...
Dyer's top tower.
Sorry, we'll see what Winstrike has to do as they're starting to get to the window opportunity here, where they should be able to utilize the Alk and Storm to start getting actual kills, right? The Alk has enough farm, but instead actually Gambit is still putting the pressure. Look at that Spear, very well done. Avoiding the still precaution. It's not the Dragon Tail. It can't come out thanks to the Shadow Shaman's Hex. Very well done. And dyrachyo will manage to just heal back up. They stop Shaman from continue to putting out spells, but they will punish the Earth Spirit for going a bit too far. Excess Vampire does not have the rolling boulder, so he's incapable of rolling himself to safety, and Winstrike will get yet another kill. Not bad for them. I mean, honestly, considering your stealth initiation by Gambit, so this is what I was talking about, right? I think Winstrike is starting to reach that momentum point, especially with the Orc.
Yep, they're going to be incredibly They're starting to swing this one around here a little bit. Alchemist is now beginning to farm a lot faster here. He's going to have the Sanj ready to go. SNY soon to follow, so plenty of stats. They're going to be interrupting another stack. Ancient farm here is Lorenof. He's not going to be able to escape this one too easily thanks to Solar Bind, but he's off and away now with a wave storm. And they're going to flip to turn this one with the stroke of fate. Now on to 2. They're going to get the initial kill onto the Shaman, looking for more as well. Falling quite low here is going to be the Alchemist pinned to the wall and killed now. As it's 3 heroes for none. Nice counter rotations there by Gambit as they move on in and defend. Very, very valuable. Catch the storm that time, but a kill onto the Alchemist means about reset those Greebles attacks, and that really hurts his bottom line.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to stomach for Winstrike, because now that you're finally getting to those points where you're kind of capable of fighting, you're like, all right, how are we still losing these fights? At what point will they start winning? And also, more importantly, at what point will Gambit just be unbeatable, right? Because the Morphling will have the Scotty very shortly as well, or soon enough, right?
Soon enough, he's getting there. He's getting a big old stack of ancient.
Oh, Orchid.
Oh, nice reaction time though.
That's incredible. Orchid is instant, by the way, guys. It might not look that way in this game, but that was instant reaction by Lorenof.
I mean, to be fair, he did see him farming here, right? So
okay,
he had. I mean, I'm not saying
take away from Lorenof.
No.
Compliment. Hey. You're like my dad.
I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm still very impressed, and I'm proud of you, Lauren. But it was still going to be rather.
Oh, that's what I want to hear.
It's still rather difficult to do. That is also going to reveal the presence of a ward, unfortunately.
Bye-bye, see ya. I mean, starting to make it so easy to catch him. He couldn't even move there. Contribute to finish him off. Create more space that way. Not bad. I think that Gambit is keeping toe-to-toe and just making sure that Alk doesn't have the easiest time farming, right? I don't think it's Alk's fault that he's low on net worth. It's really just that he just didn't get any space. Right now, Alk looks like a normal carry. He's a bit above the enemy team, but no way should an Alk be only 1k above.
No, that's not why you pick an Alchemist. In fact, that's why he used to be so weak when neutral items came out and you could carry more than one. The whole point of having an Alchemist was that you wanted to be an item at least ahead of everyone else. That's where his bread and butter comes from, because eventually, once you're 6-slotted, Greevil's Greed really ain't worth jack diddly squat. You'd rather have any other passive in the game than Greevil's at minute 50, right? At minute 20, that's not the case. And that's still not the case right now. If Winstrike not out of this one, again, with the Alchemist in the game, give him enough space and time and he will recover. The important thing is getting intermittent kills on him and resetting the Greevil's Greed, because it really slows him down. And this game, already with 3 deaths, Gambit are doing a better job of it compared to game 1.
And because as well, the pressure by Gambit also includes, of course, taking over map control, that means that Winstrike doesn't have the
I
guess the ease of just stacking and knowing these stacks won't be taken. So Alchemist don't have any recovery stacks, neither does a Storm. In fact, you have 2 heroes with Winstrike, both of which are 3 arguably, because also Void Spirit that can take stacks super easily, and you're not able to utilize this factor because Gambit are all over the map. They're not letting you have any control, particularly because they're mid-tier 1 towers.
And now we have the Manta style ready for more. So we saw maybe 3 minutes of Orchid pre-Manta style, and those days already numbered. And in fact, the number is 0, Alvaro, because we now got the Dispel for Morphling ready to go, so he's no longer as vulnerable to combo. I assume we're going to be building an Axe soon enough to the Void Spirit, but that's still a long ways away. They did actually Serpent Ward here for the tier 2 tower and able to push up a little bit more. But again, Gambit, they don't really care. They still get the tier tower, they still have their mid tier. And right now, the game is still in their hands for now. Again, the Alchemist is recovering in farm. He's nearly got a full beacon.
Radiant's bottom tower
Gonna smoke up and look to apply some pressure. Unfortunately, chshrct's not the ideal one to jump, but he is if you land the silence. And there we go, that 1-2 punch. Plenty of damage to easily set up for a follow-up stun. There goes now our Dragon Knight onto the back lines. Unable to find a stun on anyone, however, he will be instead forfeited by the Storm Spirit. Another rolling boulder forward to try and catch the Coddle. He's too fast, though. Oh, no.
He had to do that to save the Alk.
He had to do that. Yep, you're right.
That was the right play there. Yamich might have just given his Alk a second life, but still, Gambit, only 2k difference between Alk and Morphling, and they continue to put pressure. And in proper CIS style, the first thing they do is take over your triangle, hopefully maybe just take the tier 1. I mean, honestly, they could just rotate the tier 1 and take it. There's no backdoor protection on that.
Under attack.
It's true. Yeah, no backdoor protection exists for the tier 1 towers. Walk on over and blow the go here, continuing to the enemy jungle.
Dire's middle tower is under
scouted
attack.
now, though. Morphling's not too
Dire's
far
turret
away
has
here,
been
mind
killed.
you. The BKB is nearly completed, but not yet. As Alchemist, unfortunately, I think the Gambit's up for him. That's plenty of damage. Oh, he bought out for the BKB though. Just
He did?
before he died.
Okay, that's good. That's not too bad then. At least you don't lose much net worth. Still
Dire's
worthwhile
middle
kill,
tower is under
but
attack.
not too much net worth. That's nice. Blizzy chasing after Pantomem. Oh,
hello.
DK stops him before he gets to the bounty, and now the Carnival experience.
xannii hates merry-go-rounds. Can't stand them. He thinks they're quite boring rides and they deserve Dragon Tail.
He says that because that's the sound bottle makes it.
Yeah, that's his taunt. Yeah, he gets the point. And
I've never been to Merry.
Have you really?
Yeah, I mean,
They're really big in the US.
I know that's why. I know of them because I've seen them in your
Big.
movies.
You know, Ferris wheels are also really big in Chicago.
But-
We love them.
Oh, Ferris wheels I've been. But I've always noticed that in American movies, merry-go-rounds are either a place for where things or where they.
Do they study?
Yes, exactly. Good, responsible teenagers.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gambit, with this lead, I don't think they're too uncomfortable this match, especially now that the Scotty is about to come out of Morphling. It's gonna be a bit
Radiant's
tough for
middle
Winstrike to
tower
recover,
is under
especially because
attack.
Storm has
Under
become a
attack.
relegated.
You say Scotty, but I think it's actually it ought to be a butterfly
Or
here.
no, Eagle.
Yeah, or E-Blade, yeah, probably that's the more likely scenario.
No, okay. I was hoping for this. I mean, I just think Scotty just sentences the game here.
I agree with you. I just.
But I
wanted-
get that E-Blade, one of the things about E-Blade is it's much better against Storm and Void. Well, not into Void. So I can see that if you're just trying to win. I mean, look at where Storm is. That was awful. They're going to catch the Mars, in comes the Earth Spirit. Mars in trouble. They're in the Soul Mine on the juice, on the Storm. They signed him as well. And they're all cutting the arena. One Storm is dead. So is the Shadow Shaman. They try to go for the Void Spirit as well. And they use their own Ether Remnant against them. That's going to be the Morphling. I was playing there as the Void Spirit for a second. They do lose Blizzy in the engagement, and Grimstroke will also fall, but I think it's honestly still beneficial for Gambit. You might be losing as Winstrike, so any kill is important, but Storm just can't die. He's so far behind.
And that hurt especially. I mean, the thing is that was the 10-second BKB there for Blizzy. He unfortunately has to die, but gets off a great arena before he goes. And even better than that was going to be the Grimstroke, able to actually soulbind onto the Storm Spirit. I don't know who else he caught there, but it didn't really end up mattering at the end of the day, as it was going to be good enough there for the kill. Oh, wow, they're going for more though. xannii underneath the tier 1's got to be a bit careful here. The Storm Spirit respawning in 5 seconds. Already 2 TPs now completed to the tower. Good silence there. Will catch the Shaman to make sure there's no hacks or shackles to follow up. xannii going to pop the BKB. He wants to take no chances, but might not get the chance here, Avo. Oh, 10-second BKB. He's fine. And instead it's going to be the Grimstroke having to die back, who I wanted to mention died on his first life because it looks like he got pushed in between the snakes by something. I don't know how that happened. He had some even 4 staff. No.
I mean, I'm watching the same camera you are, friendo. So I don't think we caught it. I'm sorry.
No. He was just all of a sudden, 1 second he was outside of the Serpent Wards, and then the next second he was inside.
He might have had face boots and messed up with that. I'm not sure. Anyway, Blinding Light, maybe?
Blinding Light, yeah.
Could have been, because I can't think of anything else that
Radiant's
was.
middle tower is
And they
under
go for the
attack.
Roshan now. They're gonna try here with a BKB arena one as well. Catch the Alchemist. They go in for the shotgun. They're Morphling. With the Earth Spirit on top of that, no need for the Axe there. The Earth Spirit is just going to be that good, stopping dyrachyo completely.
And yamich as well. Couldn't do a darn thing to help from inside the pit. He's got all this cast range for nothing.
Is he cosplaying as a ward?
He is.
He is. Guys, look, I have so much vision. Go for the Mars. Mars caught from behind. He can't be this sassy. Gotta show the front like a true warrior. But he's going to lose his life. Nexus Vampire instead trying to kill off Yamich, but his rolling boulder will be blocked.
Here come the reinforcements, though. Here comes the cavalry. xannii, as well as the Morphling, still have plenty of utility to use here, but doesn't look like instead Morphling wants to farm. He's going to farm the Serpent Wards, which give a lot of gold. They give a lot of gold here, so that's not insignificant.
Yeah, Morphling like, thank you.
Thank you.
It's like when people drop Tombstone when you're about to die. You're like, no! You're just feeding them more gold.
Exactly. So that's going to be the Roshan attempt stopped in its tracks. I do have to commend the positioning here of our DK as well. xannii, nicely done. Him and the Earth Spirit just both jumping in, controlling exactly who they need to. And despite the team, I mean, how rarely do you see the team with a Shaman going, it feels like they need more lockdown.
Oh, yeah, it's true, right?
Right?
I guess because the lockdown they provides is just not available this game because there's so many ways of interrupting that shackles. So realistically, Shaman is just a pet. I haven't seen a single shackles for more than like a second, unless it's been like a gank, right?
Yep.
Because Morphling can interrupt, actually every single hero in Gambit can interrupt the shackles.
Very good point, yeah, all of them can.
Because Morphling does have the mini stun, very often not used of course, but it's only 3-second cooldown between it at the strikes. If I think you ever needed it for free, you can always go for the shard for some reason.
They're gonna keep up the pressure here. What's our Alchemist got? He's going for the ace. Got the Hyperstone, but that's gonna be his newest item. Scan will reveal some heroes here in the general vicinity. Storm nearly at his peak. Death here would be so costly, and it looks like that might be Ace, as this is a well-executed smoke. Blizzy leading the charge with an X, but there's going to be a rolling boulder on in. He's looking for the backliners. They don't really want the Shaman, but they're going to have to take it first. Looking for more, though, as into the trees goes our Earth Spirit with a that could be a kill here. They might have enough stuns for him. Lorenof running over. He could shackle him as the Shaman, but instead, why bother to do that when you could just go and nuke him down?
Stupendous.
Incredible. The Alchemist is not having a game at all.
Nope.
Morphling has been itemized against him. He's just like, guys, I'm dominating Morphling.
He just got damage. He's got plenty of stats,
Yeah.
and he can fight. I think even if it came down to it, I doubt actually the Alchemist could go mano a mano with the Morphling right now, simply because there's just too many stats. And with the E-Blade as well as the Manta style providing you two sort of semi-escapes, especially the E-Blade against the Alchemist, which, what is he going to do? Throw an acid spray at you?
Right, true, yeah, you do nothing against the Morphling, and that match was pretty bad. And I think that DK was the play that really made Gambit kind of come together, because thanks to the DK, you could really mitigate the Morphling and just turn the game. Another great arena won by Blizzy. He's going to go here for the Shadow Shaman. Pretty valuable kill, honestly, but he got alone here. And now xannii joining in. Another soul by double E. Finally, BKB comes out from the storm, but he still leads to his brother.
Over here.
Yeah, that BKB for a minute, 10-second BKB, but now xannii's going to pop his instead. They're going to throw a little bit of an unstable concoction, but that's not going to do much to try and hold him back. xannii going for more. Oh, that's a bad blink, but I think it's still going to catch a Cheshire Cat here, pinned to the wall once, twice, and just completely nuked down. So much control here on the side of Gambit, even without the Earth Spirit. It's incredible.
That DK is fantastic, honestly. That pick is what... Blizzy's been playing an incredible game, though, on the Mars. I think, to me, the MVP is Blizzy in terms of playstyle, but the draft also played a huge part in Gambit. It was a really smart, clever, outside-the-box.
I totally agree, but hold on.
Now we don't have BKB on the DK anymore. He might actually die. The Alchemist is going to chunk him. Okay, dyrachyo actually deals damage. Blizzy could be in trouble as well as the storm jumps up to him. And Blizzy is not going to be able to survive his onslaught. Gambit losing too, and this is, I would say, a turning point, but it's the start for something for Winstrike.
It's costly.
It's important for them.
It's costly is what it is, because now this is going to give you a guaranteed another full minute for Alchemist to farm, you know? And you have to remember, oh, it's only 1 minute, not too bad. Last game, dyrachyo had 1,025 GPM. It's not going to be anywhere close. This game is going to be losing, but it's still a very respectable, nearly 800. So he's going to... Another 800 gold into his pocket. What does that get him? 25 more stats at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not to be trifled with.
No. Over destruction for the Morphling. Oh, actually, this is pretty good for the Mars, honestly. I think it's really good on Mars, because God's Rebuke applies it to everyone. I understand the point of Enchanted Quiver. It works nicely with him, but I think the Orb might be a consideration to swap it around with the Morphling. He just dropped it here. See. Oh, okay, they give the Orb to the Morphling. Less, oh, it's less slow, but the minus armor is the same, right? Whether you're ranged or melee.
On which one, sorry?
On the Over Destruction.
So, no, it's different.
No, the slow is different, but the armor reduction is the same. Okay, so Morphling is just looking to amplify his damage. I don't think the slow is that relevant to the item, honestly, unless you're like a lifestealer or something.
Two fluffy hats. We've lent our coddle our hats for now. Oh, he stole them. He paid me 125 gold, and I looked the other way. Pupper dead? Yeah, Pupper is dead.
And they're gonna catch out here the Alchemist. So this is much more valuable kill. Wow. Forced them to try to save him, but it's not gonna be enough. They have way too much damage. Yamich, that's a TP. There's the have to strike to cancel that TP. And they even find chshrct, who dissimulates, plays around, but at dissimulate is not gonna get him far enough, and the DK is just gonna chase him to death.
You can only run so much from this team, and barely. I mean, very, very good job there by our Earth Spirit. And actually, this brings me to the point I wanted to bring up earlier when you said that the MVP. Okay. I cannot not say, I can't argue that xannii has been having a bad game.
Oh, wait,
that's not true.
That Dragon Tail
He's going to be looking to catch the Storm Spirit. Might have the damage on his own. There's not a whole lot of mana left on our Storm Spirit, so he's going to be ran down. Enchanted Quiver there, doing quite a number.
That was Enchanted Quiver 100%. I was wondering, it's like, okay, I know DK hurts, but this much? Quiver. Very valuable item.
It is a ton of damage, but really I have to give a whole lot of credit to, and you know, support player here, so of course this is what I'm going to do. But Pupper, Pupper as well as Excess Vampire have been playing excellently together. They really have. This silence combo, even early on, I mentioned that when the Recruit was back to level 5, followed up by the Phantom's Embrace, has been working wonders for this very lockdown-prone team that is Winstrike. So I gotta say, this early game was definitely carried by those two supports.
They played really well, all of them, honestly.
All of Gambit really have.
If you show me game number 1 and then game number 2, and you cover the names of the team, and you tell me these are the same teams, I wouldn't believe it, honestly.
Yes.
Because Gambit, they're playstyle is completely different as well. Not as passive. They're playing much more aggressively this game. They knew when to take risks, when to take advantage of their early game potential. It's very clear to me now after seeing game number 2 that yeah, Gambit might have not been in their best range compared to the old Gambit, but the first game was more of a draft limitation.
Yeah, absolutely. This time we've got a much more clear-cut sort of, you're going to do this, and then blah, 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 right? Lorenof, he's managed, and so has xannii and Blizzy. They've all managed to find their farm, their space created by the support system. This whole team's just going to find a coddle. It's not bad, it's not amazing, but taking him out of the fight for 45 seconds is...
Richie had 2 fluffy hats. How did he die?
How could they kill him? That's illegal.
Okay, xannii has an invis rune. He doesn't even know he's walking alongside.
Blizzy's coming.
Yeah, he knows.
This is going to be a
That's
kill.
instant Dragon Tail. There we go. They also so much damage to that quiver. Probably stuck with the spear. A bit too far, but it's okay. And Lorenof even finds a shotgun kill.
It's just a bloodbath now. They're going for another one as well.
I hear a BKB.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a... I mean, I guess...
9-second BK. Oh, 8-second for that one.
I mean, you survive, so I think that's the right play, but at the same time...
Of course, it's...
You're so far behind.
He doesn't have the buyback here, so yeah, I mean, it keeps them in the game, so obviously that BKB is well worth it. Because I think if the Alch dies, I think he just straight up lose here. When your 3 core is dead, I mean, there's not really much the Shaman and Coddle supposed to do.
That spray does nothing for
Look how much damage there is.
Is great at pushing, so is the Morphling. Mars actually has a bit to it. They even have an order destruction.
That's not the issue, though. The issue is that it's coming from all 3 lanes, Alvo.
It's true.
All 3 lanes are completely pushed in. They don't even have a, yeah, they can't have a tier 2. They have a tier 1. So there they go. There goes the wave. 2 lanes of melee barracks taken. The full lane of bottom barracks taken. Gambit, just like Winstrike was in game number 1, they're going to play it extremely patiently here.
Yep, that's true. You're not going to do this BBC. People might not see the excitement or the pressure that you feel. Might be less pressure on this format, but every point counts. Particularly because Gambit did not do. Do well in the first match of the season.
Right. They didn't have a good.
They're the only 2-0 actually. They got beat by Pantomem 2-0, which does suck a bit. I think the points are different, particularly we get 2 against 1 and standings when it comes to the ties, right? And Gambit will definitely want to secure it. So as safe as possible, don't make any mistakes. Winstrike, you have 1 Hail Mary play, which might be this smoke.
Yeah, I mean, a quick correction there, of course. This is not the C region, so there's no ties here.
Wow, that was awful. That was so awful. Clearly there's no ties because you're incredibly unprofessional.
Ah, well.
Find the tier 3 here. We're Gambit
on Mars.
plus over destruction.
Yep.
These are buildings, dude.
Wow.
What are these buildings? Nobody. They need to come together to learn to build these structures because they're destroying them. Morphling though in trouble, and they managed to get a kill. He does buy back. They're doing up blood. Morphling doesn't want to come back into the game just yet, so as DK is going to try to tank this, they realize the Alch can still get a quick kill. And the DK will also fall to dyrachyo. That Basho made a difference. They finally got the stuns they wanted. Gambit played a bit over-aggressively with that initiation. They still have buybacks. The game's not lost, but you are giving Winstrike a chance.
I think they probably had a very similar reaction that we did, which is, oh my god, these buildings are melting. You know, I think Lycan from last game was going to come over and give him a tip. Hey, make sure you build your barracks out of bricks, not straw, right? Yes. That's going to be a little bit better. That's a 3 little piggies.
Or the Morphling huffs and puffs them down.
Yeah,
right?
seriously, you got to make sure it's out of brick, guys. Those ones out of twigs. That's not much better. What do you do?
Yeah, those racks are not well built. No. I don't know. They had so much pushing power here with DK and Morphling, plus Desolator, plus over destruction.
Yeah, they didn't stand a single there. BKB was used there.
Oh, they even have AC. I didn't even know it.
Oh, yeah, great salutations to that, and goodbye to your towers.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, they only have, I mean, it's a terrifying position to be in here. They've got the range barracks, which are not going to regen, that are still alive on a sliver of HP, and another range barracks that are already lower, right? 300 HP is not to be trifled with, missing off of buildings.
I think Morphling can just literally go and ignore your back to protection. He has enough damage.
I think he probably needs the minus armor of Mars, and then, yeah. I think the -6 is pretty significant, but yes. But they can't go in like that. Luckily for Gambit, though, it's not completely an L, because it's going to be a long Roche. Winstrike, my goodness, they would have been thinking lucky stars and buying an extra level in the Battle Pass next season if it had been a big Roche. Sadly for them, it is not. But the good news
Long to the rush.
It's about a minute. Is they didn't have to buy back on any of their cores that fight. Only the Shaman had to buy back there, so it's not crucial to get a kill here. But they're going to be going for more cover.
Good kill. Back in. I left something behind, guys. Don't mind me. And now it's both out of mana. Actually, the BKB. And now there is a Scotty Morphling and good light storm. Let's see if the Alchemist fight him. Blizzy will just tank the Alchemist. Damage is superior from Gambit. Alchemist out for the triple silence. Void Spirit, so many silences. The man no longer has any vocal cords. Yamich will fall as well. This is going for more. They go for more. The column target. First sprint though might have been off more than he could chew. As now the Alchemist is going to start to jump him down. But he has no chemical range. No BKBs either. Lorenof is just going to burn. He gets the rampage against Kano. Finishes off the out and forces the rage quit from Storm. As they call the GG. Gambit will take this game in an aggressive fashion and secure game number 3.
Once again here, you're going to hate me because I'm going to make another punt, but that was quite literally another Gambit. They sacrifice, a quick sack on the